And we're about to talk about a team right now in the Memphis Grizzlies as well. Like, do you believe that they're a contender? Right now, to me personally, I believe like the top 2 contenders in the West is the Suns and the Golden State Warriors. So
I think, it's funny when we talk about the Grizzlies. I think one of the things that we heard a player say recently was the playoffs are all about getting hot at the right time. And I personally think that's kind of more the college route. But
I think that's
obviously,
I think that's football too, more so football.
Right, yeah, well, I guess
matter.
sports in general, but I mean, like at the same time, talent prevails, right? Like college, college, you really just gotta be better than someone for 40 minutes, right? Very simple. But in the pros, even though there's some truth to that, it's about getting hot at the right time. It's still the same game series, right? You still got to beat a team 4 straight times. So I think with the Grizzlies, I think they have the talent, and I think they're hungry and ready to win now. I don't think they're not waiting anymore, which we've seen from teams in the past. Like, they're not waiting. That's good, obviously. But yeah, I think that's going to be a team where it's like, if they can continue to play this way come playoff time, they're going to be in great shape. And the reason why I say it that way is because I don't think they have I don't think people are going to give them the credit enough to say, like, all right, that's a team that they can flip on the switch and say, all right, if they've been playing bad for 5 games, I know that they can get it done in like a game 7, or I know they can get it done when it matters the most. To me, that's a team that has to be playing like well consistently throughout the regular season, because I hate to say it, just based off rings and stuff, they don't have that one guy I feel that's like legitimately proven himself and won like championships or had deep playoff runs. So because of that, that's why I say, like, all right, they got to be playing well.
So do you think? So are they a playoff contender or a Western Conference Finals and Finals contender? Like, what contender are they? Because it's different types of contenders. Are they a playoff contender? True. Like, can they win a first round matchup, or do you believe that they can go to the Western Conference Finals potentially?
Well, I mean, they definitely. I mean, I'm not sure by definition how we want to run with playoff contender, but they definitely can win the first round, right? Anytime you get a top 4 seed in a conference, regardless of the reason, whether it's injuries, COVID years, shortened, whatever. Like, if you finish top 4 and you get home court, it's not a surprise to at least get out the first round. But if they're a 4 seed and they got to play the Warriors in the first round, that would definitely be tough. I don't like to use the word upset, because we're still talking about, pros, but it would kind of surprise me if they ended up being the Warriors. But I mean, the Warriors have a lot of firepower, especially now when we talk about adding Clay back. Like, I would have said this pre-Clay, you know what I'm saying? But you add Clay, love Ja, and I love what Memphis is doing. And I think, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that, like, they won't ever win a championship eventually, but like right now, the Warriors are like stacked, and to the point where it's like, yo,
the Suns, bro.
The
Suns
I only said the Warriors because of course, the standings and who they would play, but absolutely the Suns too.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. It's like, I got to see it to believe it. Like, I'm one of these people that still believe in the Los Angeles Lakers healthy. I know we're going to talk a little bit about the Russell Westbrook and the Lakers in a little bit, but I seen the Golden State Warriors do it. You know what I'm saying? We seen them do it. We seen, regardless of situations happen in the playoffs with the Phoenix Suns not beating a healthy team, or probably the Milwaukee Bucks not beating a healthy team throughout their run to the finals, they still made it to the finals. At the end of the day, it's just like, we seen it. The Memphis Grizzlies, I haven't seen it. Like, I got to see it to believe it. Like, I got to see them win a first round matchup to be like, all right, now let's see what they can do in the second round. But to be honest, let's say they get as high as the 3rd seed, or even they say the 4th seed, and let's say the Denver Nuggets drop, and because everybody's so close that basically that 5 through 8 range is so close right now. And let's say the Los Angeles Clippers, with a healthy Paul George, it's the 5th seed, and the Memphis Grizzlies are the 4th seed. I don't know if I'm taking the Memphis Grizzlies to beat the Los Angeles Clippers, because I've seen Paul George just going to run by himself leading to the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? So I got to see it with Memphis. Like, they got a lot of great pieces and stuff, but I really got to see it to believe it.
Right. Well, I mean, who I think is going to win is different than like who I say could win. Like, I'm not going to say my prediction now because it's still so ways early, away. Yeah. But just the idea, like, it wouldn't surprise me if the Grizzlies got out of the first round. Now, if they made it to the Western Conference Finals, then I'm like, all right, well, shit, I didn't really see that coming. But I can't sit here and say that a top 4 seed with home court advantage with a player like Ja, they make it to the second round is like, oh shit, I had no idea. Like, there's a reason why they're the 4th seed. And even to your point about the Lakers and teams that have proven it but haven't proven it, to me, it would be one thing if like all these teams were playing the same, and the one thing we can hang our hat on was the fact that the Lakers or whatever team has proven it. If, like when you asked me, I think last week about the Bulls or the Lakers, right? The Bulls don't really have guys that have NBA Finals, experience except for, Caruso.
Or playoff experience, really.
Well, okay, yeah, that too. But just like at the end of the day, at least those teams are playing well now, right? The Bulls and the Grizzlies. So as much as I want to sit here and acknowledge what guys have done in the past, and again, playoff basketball is a lot different. It is extremely different. At the same time, I have to acknowledge what's happening now. And if certain teams are playing well now, hey, I got to at least consider it.
Yeah, consider it. That's fine. The Jazz been playing well in the regular season for years, and I've still felt the same way about them.
But even that though, and I don't want to sit here and say that the Jazz have failed. I just think sometimes they've ran into teams that were just straight up better than them. But even then, with that example, even then though, even with that example, we've seen it from them before, right? Like we're used to the Jazz having great, regular seasons and then going to the playoffs and not win the championship. The Grizzlies, the Bulls, it's been a minute since so who knows?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So this could be the year we're like, exactly. So I mean, I think it all depends on like matchups too. That's a big thing. Obviously, if we're talking Clippers, that's one thing. But if we're talking, a different team, all that matters.
It definitely, like you said, it definitely depends on matchups. I think that's the biggest key. Like you said, definitely matchups. Whatever the first round matchup is going to be, that's going to like make us like really look and say, all right, now let's really dissect this. Like, who do you think is going to win? Because I look at another team, like even the Dallas Mavericks. Like, what if the Memphis Grizzlies get as high as the 3rd seed and Dallas Mavericks are a 6th seed? Am I going to pick Ja over Luka? And I seen Luka go head to head 2 Game 7s against a top with Clippers team with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, back to back. Yeah, and I'm saying it's hard. It's hard. It's going to be hard. But I was
gonna say let's talk about if that series were to happen, right? You get Ja versus Luka in the first round. You get Grizzlies versus Mavs in the first round. They play each other, right? Now we done asked and talked about Luka making it to the second round for a very long time. Let me not say very long time. He ain't been in the league for like 10 years. But it's the idea of like, start of the season, we said, look at who's on, the line with you. they done made it out the first round.
Yeah.
Now, Ja, he wasn't on that list of 5 or 6 guys originally that we listed out.
Originally, yeah.
He wasn't.
Originally.
Originally. But now, hell yeah, he is. But now it's like, well, if Ja goes out and beats Luka, and of course, y'all, we understand that it's the Grizzlies versus the Mavericks. It's a team thing, but I don't care about that right now. So if Ja goes out there and beats Luka, are we having a conversation? I won't say the topic, of course, but are we having a conversation?
That conversation is going to be very, very...
It's going to get nasty.
It's going to get nasty. That conversation is going to get very, very nasty.